In my early 20s, I worked at a hotel that had 99 rooms, and they regularly overbooked to 116 rooms. They made me a supervisor shortly after I was hired, and it turned to me on the 3 to 11 shift to have to turn away the guests, which means I had to make up a lie. I did it twice. I felt so uncomfortable that one of my colleagues took over and said, "I'll do it." And in that hotel, I became known as a chicken. And Lynnie was not management material. And I thought to myself, that's odd. You know, where could I go in my life where instead of being criticized for not being able to lie, where could I go that I would possibly be admired for not being able to lie well? And I'd always worked with children. I loved children, and I realized that if I worked with kids, I would always live an honest life. And I would never be tempted into the world of business where people told me in order to achieve, I had to lie. I refused to do it. I immediately got into graduate school and worked on my teaching degree. Over the course of a 13-year period, I taught 43 graduate courses to adults. And because it was a controlled environment, I was able to tell the story of the shooting about my family. And it was so important because it had a lot to do with why and how I discipline kids and how I believe in affirmations and just a lot of my philosophies. So it was really an underlying foundation of who I was and is. And for those years, people said to me, I must have heard it over 100 times, you have to write a book. 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 So people ask me, you know, was it cathartic writing the book? And my answer is, it really, really helped to talk about it for 25 years. And that was cathartic, looking in people's eyes and talking. Sometimes crying, but talking. And then what I wrote in my book is almost every single thing I've ever talked about. So it was much easier to write it. It was way more difficult to heal post-traumatic stress than it was to write about it. Although writing some of these stories, you know, was difficult for me, but I just honestly cannot tell you how proud I am that I got it all down in one place. And I hope it reaches anyone who needs this information about how to heal post-traumatic stress.